What is up, everyone? How we doing? It's Wednesday. We're here at 8 p.m. My name's Thomas. I'm with Real Broker here in St. Augustine, and we're covering everything you need to know about living in St. Augustine, Jacksonville, or Palm Coast. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., we're going to cover the market stats. We're going to cover any relevant news that I think you guys need to know, and we're also going to open it up for Q&A. So if you do have any questions about living here in the area or the development going on or anything in general about living in Jacksonville, Palm Coast, or St. Augustine, I'm here to help. This is for you every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So I'm going to hop right into it. I'm going to start off with the market stats and just go over a couple of things like I do every week. So I will share my screen here. Boom, 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 boom. All right. And let's go. We'll take a look at the market stats first here for Northeastern Florida. This is going to be the Northeastern Florida Association of Realtors. And we'll take a look at this hot sheet as we always do. Last 24 hours, we've had 164 new listings and 162 pending listings. So almost a one for one. One came on the market, one went off the market. And closed the same thing. We have 164 new listings and 143 closed listings. So let's take a look at the last week just to give you an idea of how that's looking. A little more of a long-term kind of check. We have new listings at 1,210 this last week, pending at 916, so almost a one for one, and 843 closed. So we're still chugging along here, guys. You know, I know the main news stories that are happening are saying that, you know, the market's going to crash and all this good stuff, but we're just not feeling that effect here in Northeastern Florida. I mean, you know, are you seeing housing prices drop? I think those are from the people that were trying to jump on that hot housing market, and they were just shooting for the stars, hoping to land on the moon. And unfortunately, that's not happening. So we'll take a look here. I want to show you guys another stat here, which I cover every single week. It's just going to be like the total active inventory for the day. So coming here every morning, take a look, and we're at 5,702 homes. Now, if you're comparing this with this time last year, let's take a look here too. We'll go to the inventory. So you can see inventory is up compared to last year, July. It says active listings, 6,724. I'm not exactly sure where that number's coming from. But you can see we're up from 5,133. So almost 1,000 more listings than we had previously. If you're comparing this to last year. Now, we all know last year we had record low inventory. There weren't really that many houses on the market. And even at 6,000 homes, we still don't have that many houses on the market. So it's recognized that there still is demand here in Northeastern Florida, and there's still not that many homes on the market. And part of that has to do with, you know, if you got into the market last year, you got an interest rate of 3%. And if you're thinking maybe you don't like the house you're in, but you're looking at your options, you're looking at your 5.5%, 6% mortgage rate, and you're like, you know what? I can kind of eat the frog and be okay with staying in this place, considering my interest rate that I've gotten at 3%. Because when you're comparing apples to apples, it's tough. You're going to go for maybe more square footage or less square footage depending on your situation. But then the mortgage rate, the interest you're going to pay over the 30 years is going to be much higher than that 3.5%. So we're going to see that, I think, be a problem in this market moving forward, is people just wanting to hold on to that rock solid interest rate and not wanting to sell their home, which leads even more into our inventory problem, our supply demand issue, our housing price issue, our affordability crisis. It's all tied together. So let's look at the first article that I have here. Really important if you're buying, selling, investing in St. Johns County. This is going to have one of the most important things to know. If you're living in St. Johns County right now, this is going to be important to you. Though, if you're moving here, it also helps you estimate what your possible annual expenses are going to be with taxes. So let's take a look at this next article here, guys. Oh my gosh, I see we got a couple viewers out there. I forgot to ask, where are you guys tuning in from? You know, are you tuning in from New York? You're from California, Jersey, Alaska? Let me know, and let me know what has you thinking about moving to St. Augustine, Jacksonville, or Palm Coast. Love to know why you're here. Let me know in the comments below. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going on to my important news. I'm going to share my screen, okay? Boom, boom, pow. All right. So St. Johns County residents could see their property tax bill increase. The county expected to see a 17.8% increase in taxable value. Now, this is not set in stone. This is something that could definitely change. It could actually go up. It could actually go down. What they are proposing, well, they're proposing it and it got approved by the commission. They need to have 2 public hearings amongst the people in St. Augustine. So it's probably going to go up. Let's be honest. We need some adjustments for the infrastructure, the growing community that we have. And typically what taxes do, they typically don't go down. They typically go up. So we're probably going to expect to see that. Taxes go up 17.8%. Now, if you're owning a property here in St. Johns County, you're like, oh my God, my tax bill is going to go up, 20%. That's a huge jump. Well, that's not necessarily true, because here in Florida, if it is your primary residence, then you are able to homestead the property. So you'll see if you see someone who's owned a property since like 1990, 1980, you'll see they'll be paying absolutely nothing for taxes. And it's because they homesteaded their property when they first purchased it. And homestead is kind of a Florida incentive to stay in Florida, and you can use that and the portability of that homestead to your advantage as a Florida property owner. But the main thing to know when it comes down to taxes is that it caps you at an increase of 3% year over year. So if there is a major increase in taxes, it doesn't really affect you because you have that homestead exemption for being a primary resident. So that saves you on that huge increase. Now, that is also tax area specific too. They're talking about the entire St. Johns County. How taxes are assessed are different amongst the entire county. There's different pockets and different millage rates, which is essentially the percentage that they're going to charge you on taxes. So one of the things that they cite here is St. Augustine City. I will show you real quick what that is. In St. Augustine City, which is essentially downtown St. Augustine, is going to have some of the highest taxes in northeastern Florida, very similar to Jersey taxes, actually, when you take a look at what the millage rate is here. So the millage rate in St. Augustine is 19.3368. So that's almost 2%. So if you're spending $100,000, your taxes are going to be around $2,000. If you're spending $1 million, your taxes are going to be around $20,000. That is assuming that you're buying a home in today's market, and that's typically when taxes get reassessed at a triggering event like the buy or the sell of a property. So really important to know, guys. If you have any questions about what I'm covering, go ahead and leave me a comment below. I'm here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. for you guys, answering questions, going over the relevant market stats, and also the news that I think you need to know if you're moving here, if you're living here, or if you're thinking of investing here in St. Augustine. So I'm here for you guys every Wednesday. Let me know. I got the questions. I got the answers. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next news story here. And this one's pretty interesting. It has to do with our local community and all of northeastern Florida, really. And it's also kind of a fluff piece. All right. St. Johns County sea turtle nests reached record high of 1,160. So for the first time, well, not for the first time, we have sea turtle nests all the time. The conservation of these sea turtle nests, you'll see if you come to visit, you'll see they have them marked off. People are very serious about this. There's a lot of rules. You can't have lights on at night on the beach. A lot of the restaurants, a lot of the homes have to have a certain type of light because it draws turtles away from the ocean when it shouldn't. So having 1,100 turtles come into our area, having some nests, pretty cool things. And a lot of people go out to see them hatch. One interesting thing about that, because of the heat that we've had this year, though Florida is always hot, most of the turtles born are going to be female. And that's because that the temperature of the sand actually determines the sex of turtles when they're born. Really interesting stat. I didn't know, but a little fluff piece for you guys. I'm going to go on to the next news story, which I also think is really interesting. And it's an opinion piece. So I want to see what you guys think about this, because I know what I think about it, but I just want to see what you guys think about it. So go over here. The main headline: should St. Augustine grow as a community or as a 13 square mile resort? Okay, so this is from USA Today. saying how new hotels are springing up all over St. Augustine and all this development is going on. What should we do with the community? Should we make it like this huge recreational vacation place for people? How does that work? I don't know. Personally, myself, that sounds like a developer wants to buy everything and make it like a huge resort. And I mean, I couldn't even imagine what the logistics of that would look like. If years down the line, how that would look like. Building out St. Augustine Beach, there's so many residences on there. I mean, and I wonder how it's going to play into their long-term mobility plan. Now, if they were talking about doing a resort with a long-term mobility plan, where they're talking about essentially making like a green belt around downtown St. Augustine, the surrounding Anastasia Island, and the mainland of Florida, making a green belt you can ride a bicycle. Also, on top of that, putting parking garages stationed strategically around the city of St. Augustine, historical city of St. Augustine, so that you drive to the parking garages, you park, and then there's some type of trolley system that brings you into downtown, or you can walk, ride a bike, whatever that may be. So would that play into that plan? I think yes. I think that actually would really play really well into that plan. If you're making St. Augustine into a resort city altogether, then that's perfect for that plan. In terms of people that live here, that work here, that grew up here, that's not going to work for anyone that's here. I can guarantee that, because then that turns into this whole place. It turns into something that it isn't. You have people that are growing up here, but now you have people, and that's why you see people fighting against the Airbnbs and everything. It's not just people that are living here buying these Airbnbs. It's investors, it's hedge funds buying them for the return on investment. And some of these Airbnbs, I mean, they're making some crazy money on the nightly. And now with everything going on, rent has skyrocketed here along with the housing prices. So if, you're a millennial and you're trying to get into the first time housing market, first time house here in Florida, I mean, you're buying a $300,000 to $400,000 house as a first time home buyer. That's the majority of the houses is going to be above 250. So, and I'm sure, let me know in the comments below, but anyone out there, what was the cost of your first home? Was it anywhere close to that? I doubt it. So I think it's just going to make homeownership further and further. It's going to be less unattainable for the people that actually live and work here, and more attainable for people to just come here, buy the property up, and treat it as a resort, as an investment, where that disregards the locals here altogether. Though, as we all know, money runs everything. So that's probably what will happen. Let's be real. Probably will happen. So looks like we got a comment. Guys, I see we got 6 people in here. Thank you so much for being here today. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., I'm going over the market stats, going over the local news that you need to know. You're buying, you're selling, you're investing in St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Palm Coast. I think this is good information. I think it's relevant information. I'm here for you every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You'll see we're rocking out with questions and comments all night long. So let me take a look. I got one. Let me see. Debbie Williams, let's go. Community. That's why we're locating the area, because it's not crazy touristy. So Debbie, thank you so much for commenting. I appreciate you letting me know why you're moving to our area. Where are you moving from? I'd really like to know that. Now, the one thing I will say about tourism is that it is increasing. And that's one of the main focal points of living in our city. You have the historic area, you have the beaches, you have Jacksonville Beach. A lot of history there, a lot of good stuff to do, a lot of family-friendly events. Tourism's not going anywhere, I don't think. Do I think that tourism will, that it has hit a peak here? Yes, I definitely do, because for a long time, we were the only shop open. Florida was, hey, we're all open. Everything else was closed. You couldn't travel internationally. God forbid you got on a cruise. Florida was still open. So I think instead of going international, instead of traveling on an airplane with a family, instead of, just dealing with all those regulations, they decided, let's take a road trip to Florida. So I think we've seen tourism. It's just been, since COVID, just been off the map. It's been busy. So I think with everything else opening, we'll probably see that not as intense as we have seen. But yes, I agree with you, Debbie, That's one of the main reasons I live here in St. Augustine. When I was a kid, I was very fortunate to live in this community. They took care of me. I'm here today, and I got some cool stuff in the pipeline, looking to help out in the community. So really glad that you like that and that you're coming to join. Moving from Randolph, New Jersey. A lot of people moving from Jersey. It just seems to be a lot of those people that live in the Northeast, especially with the taxes and what's going on in New Jersey right now. So many people moving from New York and New Jersey too. Seems to be a good time to get out. So I'm here to help Debbie. If you are thinking about moving down here, I'd love to be able to help. Let's go on to our next news story. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them just like I answered Debbie's questions, guys. So let me turn that off there. Boom. We're going to go to the next news story. Stark numbers on Palm Coast's unaffordable housing crisis emerge behind a routine presentation. Chick-fil-A is good. So, they had a housing report in Palm Coast. The biggest startling fact in here is 18% of households in Palm Coast. Almost 1 in every 5 households make less than half of the median household income in the city, and over 2,000 of those make less than 30%, placing them in the poverty range. Now, guys, I'm an advocate for affordable housing here in northeastern Florida, not just in St. Augustine. In Palm Coast, they've had housing increases just like everywhere else. Now, Palm Coast was a gem before 2020. It really was a really, really affordable place to live. Not a ton to do, but very affordable. You could still commute to St. Augustine if you needed to. It's about an hour from Jacksonville. So if you needed to do that, you could make that drive, but you could get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for under $200,000, and it's a nice move-in ready home. Now that number is probably more around 350, 400, 350 to 450 is probably more or less the average of what's going on there for most people in Palm Coast. And there's no industry there to speak of. So all the biggest industry, I think the biggest employer in Palm Coast is going to be Hammock Dunes Resort, which is a resort and spa that's bordering the ocean, which is going to be the biggest employer. So a lot of hospitality work there, but we know with hospitality work, they're not exactly the best wages. So you're going to see this. You're going to see people that can't afford it. So what is Palm Coast going to do? What's St. Augustine going to do? What's Jacksonville going to do? St. Augustine looks like they're raising taxes. Jacksonville looks like they want to add accessory dwelling units to people's homes, which I think is the best idea so far. Palm Coast is late to the game. They're just trying to hop on and get into the affordable housing game, which Palm Coast doesn't have any within the city of Palm Coast, but they have lots within Bunnell, which is just south of Palm Coast. So still within Flagler County, but different city. It's outside the city limits of Palm Coast. Very interesting how that works out. We got Brian back on here. Brian is a favorite of the channel. He didn't buy a house with me, but he is a great commenter, a great supporter of the channel, and I appreciate you being here. I'm moving from Perkasie, Pennsylvania, northwest Bucks County out of Philly. Good to see you, Thomas. Brian, appreciate your comment. Appreciate you being here out of Bucks County, and that same area too. I really like the Philadelphia area. I think it's great. I think your access to New York City, your access to the beach, your access to sports in New York, Philly are great too. The worst fans in the entire world, but still the area, they got the football, they got the hockey and basketball and every baseball, all within that little sports complex. Fantastic idea. I think it's great for city planning. But you have a lot of people from that area moving here. Most people that I'm talking to, a lot of it has to come down to politics, crime. What has you moving here, Brian? Really curious on that. I appreciate you being here, though, leaving me a comment. I really do appreciate that, man. So I'm going to go on to my next news story. Now, guys, I only have one more news story. So if you do have any questions, I'm here for you. So leave them in the comments below. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., I'm going to be here for you. We're covering everything that you need to know about living in St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Palm Coast. If you're buying, selling, investing, it's going to be good information for you to know to make an educated decision. So leave me those questions below. I'm here for you guys. So I'm going to go switch over to here. Boom, boom. All right. Oh my gosh. The worst. These freaking things. Developer plans commercial project near I-95 in St. Johns County. Very frustrating that this keeps popping up. I will buy the Jacksonville Business Journal for next year. I just want to share for this next video because that is really annoying. I want to show you where this is at. And I've already done a video on 207. So let me see here. Where's the maps? Okay. So on Route 207 and I-95, they're talking about developing that area. They've already got a couple developers going on in that area. I made a whole video on my YouTube channel about the hottest spot for development in St. Johns County, which is more or less, that's actually northern St. Johns County, but they just started developing on 207, which is really the first development that we're seeing where it's in a concentrated area that is not in northern St. Johns County. So let's take a look here. And you guys see where I live. That's cool. Don't come to my house, please. So you can see here, this is 95 and 207. This is Entrada right up the way here. Where are we going? Where are we at? Entrada Express Homes right here. If you're following my channel, you know that over in this area here, they're going to be building a hospital. They have a Best Bet they just built there. They're putting a Beaver Toyota over there. They're putting, I think, a Hyundai dealership over there. They're developing this little strip. Oh, there you go. You see Beaver Toyota right over there. They're developing this little strip over here. Treaty Oaks, this is a new construction community. They just finished building out. KB, they're finishing building out that. That's a townhome community. Now, this is all on the east side of 95. Now, on the west side, where this little pocket, this little pond here, lake or whatever, I don't even know what you want to call it, little lake here, retention pond, whatever, that's going to be the property that's going to be redeveloped right off of 95. I imagine it's going to be residential, but we'll see what happens. That's something that I will stay on top of. We're seeing development. We're seeing things moving. I just talked to a buyer last week, and they were looking in Reverie of Trailmark, which is a great little active adult community. And they're worried. They're like, hey, you know, with everything going on in the economy, what do you think? Do you think they're going to finish the amenity center? And the amenity center is like standing. It needs finishing details. Like it's going to be ready in a couple of months here. But yeah, I mean, they're still building all over the place, guys. I mean, it doesn't seem to be stopping here. I just saw that, and I covered it on my live stream, that St. Johns County went with like a $60 million bid to do the new high school here. There's a lot of money coming to this area and a lot of cash too. So really interesting. Let's take a look here. Brian signed a contract and placed down payment back in March, looking at settlement between December and March in Rivertown. Think we will have built additional equity in the home when we make the settlement. Okay, so you signed the contract and placed down payment back in March, looking at settlement between December and March. Yeah, probably. I mean, really, March was probably the peak of, or the lowest point of our inventory that we saw. So with our housing prices, that was also, if you're looking at housing prices, that low inventory sparked the highest increase in month over month in average sale price. So that's going to be a tough one, I'm going to say. But with how things are going, you're going to get appreciation, but I don't think you're going to get the 20%. You know, last year people signed, now they got 20% equity in their homes. I don't think you're going to get that, but as long as it's appreciating, I think that's a win, right? So I think for this year, the chief economist, Lawrence Yun, said that we're going to get 13% or 15% appreciation. I think it's 13 for the year of 2022. This is nationally. And then 2% for 2023, 2 to 3%. So as long as it's going up, as long as you got a solid monthly payment, as long as you're comfortable in that, you're going to be good to go. So I appreciate you commenting, Brian. Let's see here. David Henderson. Hi, everyone. Watching from San Francisco. Hoping to buy a short-term rental property in St. Augustine. Watching from San Francisco. Wow. That's pretty cool. Awesome. So looking to invest here in the area. I'd love to be able to help you, David. So if you have any questions about short-term rentals in the area, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them right here. I'm sure other people have those same investment questions. So I appreciate you leaving a comment here. Thanks for being here today. Short-term investments, I mean, here in St. Augustine Beach. Now, St. Augustine Beach, same thing like St. Augustine City. St. Augustine Beach is its own thing. It's part of St. Johns County. Different rules, different taxes in St. Augustine Beach. And that's just a small pocket pretty much between the two where A1A splits. There's like A1A Beachside and there's like A1A Express. So it's really that pocket there, right? In St. Augustine Beach where all, Panama Hattie's is and Taco Shop, Jack's Beef Pit Barbecue, all in that area. That was one of the main areas where people were seeing Airbnbs come into there and people buying them as investors and then renting them to Airbnbs. Problem is, it became such a problem that people that are living there, the residents, the locals, are like, no, we can't do this. I can't be living here with my family in the next door. I got a party going on with people that don't care. So they limited it to 100 Airbnb short-term rental vouchers. So there's only 100 in the entire St. Augustine Beach. Do I think that's going to increase? Probably, because vacation rental is such a big market here, and I think it's one of the main investments going on. So I imagine that short-term rental market will get a higher cap eventually. But as of right now, you need to wait until someone sells a property with that voucher or get on the list, and you got to wait. So it's hard. Okay, so Brian, moving because my mother-in-law moved in with us, wife and 2 daughters. My house is suddenly small and we hate winter. Done with that, hence northeastern Florida. And it's funny, I was talking to someone, I have a buddy, I have a whole bunch of friends from Pennsylvania. I went to a boarding school in Pennsylvania, Milton Hershey School. So I'm familiar with that entire area, pretty much the entire Northeast I've been around. And it's been hotter there. My buddy told me it was 105 there in Philly, the Philly area the other day. He works on HVAC. He's like, yeah, I was up on a roof. I was dying. He's like, this is crazy. I'm like, you may as well move to Florida, 105. We haven't even hit that hit yet here. I mean, it's been 100, not 105. So pretty crazy. Mother-in-law moved in with us and wife and 2 daughters. And the winters too. The winters, at least the one thing with northeastern Florida here, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Palm Coast, we do get that cold weather, which is nice. So, and it's not like you got to throw on a winter jacket, but you do get to put a hoodie on every once in a while. For the most part, I'm trying to be real casual these days. So I got to go shorts and a t-shirt most days. Otherwise, I'm just sweating. But let's see here. How's the local brewery game in St. Johns County? Pretty good in Bucks County here. Will I miss it? St. Johns County has its own little thing going on. There's more distilleries here for sure, but there's Ancient City Brewing. There's the Bog Brewery. I know I'm missing one for sure, but Jacksonville has a ton too. But you also have the St. Augustine Distillery. You have the Citygate Distillery. Citygate Distillery, my friend runs that place. She's a manager there. And they got some really interesting spirits in there, some different flavors. They got named by, of course, I don't know what magazine it was, but it was like one prominent magazine, like number 2 in the entire United States. St. Augustine Distillery has a great tour. And then also I always forget about this, San Sebastian Winery. Now, my old boss was a big wine head and loves wine. Could pretty much be a sommelier if he wanted to. He's not a fan of their wine. He says that they use muscadine grapes. I don't know what that means. So I like wine, but I don't know what that means. So either way, we have tons of drinking options here. I think that's going to grow too, because we need something like, they have in Jacksonville, they have Brewhound, right? I'm a dog person. Brewhound is like an acre park, and you can get a beer, you bring your dog hangs out, and there's like 40 other dogs there. It's a big dog park with beer. Right? They're opening one in St. Augustine, just north of the airport. We need more things like that here in St. Johns County. I'm talking about Topgolf. I want a Topgolf here in St. Johns County. I want a bigger distillery too, or a bigger brewery. There was one place we went to in Puerto Rico. Quick Google will show you. It's called Ocean Lab Brewery, and it is awesome. It's in Isla Verde in Puerto Rico, and it's right on the ocean. And it has like a pool and everything. You can go and be a part of it's called Vivo Beach Club. You go be part of the club, and then you can go to the brewery, get some food, relax, drink, eat, all that kind of stuff. So I think we need to have an oceanfront brewery or a waterfront brewery here would be amazing. So I'm totally with you on that, Brian. I'm not a big drinker myself, but I love those kind of atmospheres. So I think that we could use more, we always use more places to drink. David Henderson, thanks for that heads up. I know local regulations are a big thing to consider. Yeah, definitely are. Local regulations, pretty much outside of that, it's actually pretty easy. If you are looking to do I think month-to-month rentals are also very attractive right now. And that's because we have so many people just like Brian who are doing new construction, and maybe like in his instance, he's going to be ready between December and March, right? So they're not going to let you know until 30 days before you're closing. So if you're moving your entire life and you're trying to get away from like cold weather or whatever it is, a lot of people are just like, you know what, I'm moving. I'm going down. I'm just going to put my stuff in storage and worry about it later. So they'll do a month and they'll pay a good price for it. So that may be something to look into. Also, a little bit less managerial things that you need to do. So something to consider, David. Either way, you have any other questions, reach out to me. If not, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them here too. Either one. Do people kayak on the St. Johns River? Excuse me. Or do the gators and snakes keep them away? So wait, you're moving into, what was that? Rivertown. Rivertown has a fantastic kayak launch, and I think I covered that in my video because they're right on the river, and I think from their kayak launch it's like a half a mile paddle, but I don't think it keeps people out, honestly. Like I went down there, and I mean, it's a small little creek. It's really cool actually, and it's probably like 5 to 10 degrees cooler than being out in the sun. But I think it's fine. I mean, people use it. People go in the St. Johns River. People go in the Matanzas River. We don't have. I wouldn't say we have like big, massive gators here. We don't have that 6 foot, 8 foot gator just hanging around. If it is, it's probably going to get relocated. So I wouldn't be concerned. You're probably more than likely going to see a 3-4 foot gator out there, but they're more scared of you than you are of them. So I wouldn't be worried about it, Brian. Okay. By the way, my parents lived in Hershey for 40 years. They are now in Palm Coast, know the area really well. That's a small world, so small. I actually met a realtor at a convention on Monday that was from Palmyra, which is right outside of Hershey. And most people don't even know what Hershey School is, Hershey chocolate, all that good stuff. So really small world, definitely is. Is Woodpecker's barbecue really all that? Now, Woodpecker's barbecue is pretty much like one of the old staples of food in that northwest St. Johns County, where a lot of that development is. It's right outside the gates of Rivertown. It depends, like I've had people come from Texas and say, "Oh, this barbecue sucks," and I have people say it's the best barbecue. I'm not a big barbecue guy. I'm not a big pork guy, so I wouldn't really know. But everyone says it's the best place to go to. So, popular opinion, I would say yeah. All right, Brian. Listen, you're the man for giving me these comments. I'm loving it. We should have worked together. Put you on the spot. Of all the master plan community, which is your favorite? Rank them. So I can't do that. I can't do that because that would be me steering people. I can only take lists of someone else saying it. That's not a licensed realtor. If any realtor is telling you this is the best place to live for you, they're not doing something ethical and legal. So keep that in mind. If I'm telling you, hey, you should live here because there is no to low crime, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm only allowed to tell you the facts. I can't. I mean, if that happens to be a fact, then maybe it's okay. But I can't just say like, hey, this is the best neighborhood. This is the neighborhood you should be in. I can give you suggestions. You need to do your homework and figure that out. And what I typically do with a lot of people that are moving to the area is I've been giving them a hot sheet. So based on our conversation, you're going to tell me you need, your price range is this. You're looking for this many square feet, this many beds, baths, yada, yada, yada. You want amenities, you don't. I'm going to give you a sheet. If you're coming into town, you haven't been here, you're trying to figure things out, a sheet of neighborhoods you need to check out because you're going to ask me, hey, Tom, let's go take a look at this house. But you've never been to that area. You've never been to that neighborhood. So the house in that area means nothing. It really doesn't. You're more or less buying the neighborhood. You're buying the surrounding area. What are things to do for you, your family, and do you like it? So I give people a sheet. You get your homework for the day. You got to go out. You got to drive. You got to get familiar with this place, because if you're looking to buy a house here, you need to be making an educated decision. I'm not just going to tell you you need to buy here. Though I wish, Brian, I wish I had that kind of pull. You know, people are like, oh, realtors, you guys just want to sell something. I can't make anyone buy anything. Like, if I was just like, hey, you need to buy this house right now, people just disregard what I had to say. Like, I'm just going to do what I want. So I wish I had that kind of pull. Fortunately, I don't, which is why I market myself on YouTube to you beautiful people. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm here for you guys every Wednesday, 8 p.m., answering the questions. We're going over the market stats. We're going over the relevant news. You're buying, selling, investing in St. Augustine, Palm Coast, Jacksonville. You should find some value in here to make an educated decision. So let me know. Let's see. My parents and I lived in Hummelstown. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's a small world. Yeah, Hummelstown, Harrisburg, Steelton, Middletown. I lived all around there. So that area has changed pretty drastically. I've seen Harrisburg has been doing some crazy things. But hey, it is what it is. Let's go. Debbie, what are some of the names of different areas of St. Augustine? So St. Augustine, St. Johns County, right? So if you're looking at St. Augustine, you want to be within a 20-minute distance of downtown St. Augustine, the beach. There's some, one of those things typically you want to be within that range. I would consider that St. Augustine. So if you're looking at Anastasia Island, if you're looking at Volano Beach, if you're looking at downtown St. Augustine, and within a 10 to 15-minute drive there on the northwest and east side of historic St. Augustine, that's pretty much I consider St. Augustine. The rest is St. Johns County, right? So if you're on the west side of 95, if you're north of 16 and 95, I consider that St. Johns County, though it is still St. Augustine. A little confusing in a lot of people's head, but when people ask me a question like that, that's what I'm assuming you're asking. If you want to be 20 minutes close to downtown St. Augustine, then some of the neighborhoods that would be familiar with you is Palencia. We have St. Augustine South. That's a no HOA neighborhood. I did a video on Volano Beach. That's a great little neighborhood that's on the beach. Actually, John here, low carb boating, trying to get him to buy a house there instead of Fernandina Beach. I had a house I actually want to show you, John. I was just thinking about you the other day. And I wanted to know how Fernandina Beach went. So let me know. We'll talk later. But yeah, so, and then if you're looking at, maybe you want to be in Lincolnville, maybe you like those shotgun style homes, those old Key West style homes. A lot of those are going to be centrally located in Lincolnville, a lot of the older homes there. You also have Uptown, which is right just north of downtown historical St. Augustine. You have Davis Shores, St. Augustine Beach, Crescent Beach, Butler Beach. Yeah, so plenty within St. Augustine. Now, if you're talking about HOA community outside of St. Augustine, within St. Johns County, I see you did mention here. Oops, sorry, John. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I see is IE Nocte World Golf Village. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, World Golf Village is more or less an area where you have several different communities. Some of them are named World Golf Village. So there's like the King and the Bear of World Golf Village. They have the Cascade, the 55 plus community of World Golf Village. But they also have just different communities that they're just not named that, and it's just part of the area. So it's a little confusing, and that's going to change too, probably because World Golf Village, the World Golf Hall of Fame is moving from that area to North Carolina. So it's kind of embarrassing for everyone in that area. They're like, why is it called World Golf Village? Like in the next 2 years, there won't really be a reason. Besides that, there is a lot of golfing opportunities there. So you have Nocte. That's going to be more or less if you're looking for a sprawling amenity center. They have a splash park, big splash park, and they have a big amenity center, and they were designed by Disney, Universal. They had associates help with both of those. And each little pocket within Nocte typically has their own little smaller HOA, smaller amenity center within their little pocket. So like there's Greenleaf and Nocatee. They have their own little pool and everything, but they also have access to the Big Splash Park Center. They pull up on their golf cart, all the kids jump out and they go there. So that's really, if you're looking for a bubble, you want to live in a bubble, you don't have to go anywhere. Everything's within your community. Everything's a short drive away. That's going to be Nocatee. With that comes a higher price point too. Aside from that, you also have Rivertown, you have Trailmark. These are all new construction communities, Shearwater. If you're looking for a little bit more of a developed community, maybe you want to go out to Mandarin, St. John's in that area there. Just depends really what you're looking for, what you're trying to do in your personal life and what's best for you. So if you're looking for a community, if you're looking for it to be closer to St. Augustine, either way, I hope I answered your question a little bit. If not, reach out to me directly. I get more information, kind of get a better idea of your question. So let's see here. Guys, I see we got 11 people on there. I'm here for you. Let me know if you have any questions about living in St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Palm Coast. If you have any questions about what I think about a certain area, what I think about what's going on here in northeastern Florida, I'm here to help you guys. So let's see here. John, honestly, the ones we looked at, that was like one I don't understand. That one for me, all the ones that we saw was like, I get it. But that one, I know you like that one a lot. That one didn't make sense to me. But hey, once again, I can't make anyone buy anything. It's what you like. So I hope Fernandina Beach went well. There was another property, I think it's 7695 A1A South. It's south of 206, so it's a little bit further from Jacksonville. But I don't know. It might be something worth looking into. Put your boat out on that dock. It's a great little house. So I'll see if I can't text you the address after the live stream here. Okay. Now, Brian, here we go. Does a CDD influence property taxes at all? Because the community is taking care of infrastructure itself, I'm still confused by CDD versus non-CDD. Like how does Silverleaf have amenities? So the main thing with CDDs, and there's a lot of apprehension to have a CDD. I would just look at it as another HOA. Don't even try to, it's paid with your taxes annually, but just think of it as like another monthly expense, another HOA, because essentially that's what it is. There's two parts of a CDD. You have your bond portion and you have your operating and maintenance. Now, the bond portion is a specific dollar amount specific to each individual housing parcel within that community. So that bond portion, that 50% of that CDD payment, can be paid off to lower your CDD payment. But that doesn't mean they just can't take another bond out and that payment goes right back up, but it can be paid off. Now, the operating maintenance, that continues forever, just like an HOA. So if you're looking at CDDs and HOAs, they're typically comparable. And the main thing to think of is monthly obligation. So Silverleaf, I just put something under contract there. Their monthly HOA, or their annual HOA is around like $1,800. It's very, very manageable. So I think it comes out to like $176 a month or something like that. But that's all they have, is just an HOA. Now, if you're looking at communities with an HOA CDD, they may have a CDD of $2,000, but their HOA is only $80 for the entire year. So it's the same thing. So most HOA CDDs are going to be between that $200 and $400 amount. Now, does that affect your taxes? No, it doesn't. It's just paid along with your taxes. So good question. That's a solid question. I like that, Brian. Get me to bring out the big guns. Get me to think a little bit. I like it. So that's exactly what we're here for, guys. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., covering all this good stuff. So that looks like it's the last question. And I see we got 11 people in here. So if you have any other questions, fire them off. I'm here for you guys. So let them go in the comments. I'll diddle around here for a second. See if we can get any more comments, force you guys to comment a little bit more. So I'm here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. going over everything you need to know about buying, selling, investing in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Palm Coast. so you guys can make an educated decision. Hopefully it's with me as your realtor. I'd love that. But if it's not, hey, at least you're here. You're asking questions. You're helping my YouTube algorithm. Are people writing off CDDs on their taxes? I don't believe so. I don't believe so, Brian. No, I do not believe so. It's a good question. I'm going to write that one down just so I can double check on that, but I don't believe you can do that. And see, you know, guys, listen, this is the fact of the matter. I don't know everything. I wish I did. I don't. But anything I don't know, I can find out. And then I'm going to take it right back here, bring you the answer. So, Brian, that's a great question. I'm going to find that out. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe I'll make a video on it and we'll have some more content. But I appreciate that question. They shouldn't, I'm sure, but it comes out of your escrow account with your mortgage. Yeah, it comes out. Yeah, so it's all in that one. So it's all one payment, you know. So everything's coming out of one payment. That's how it's all set up now. Because what was happening before, very interesting. What was happening before? They used to not compile your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So that used to be a whole bunch of different payments. So we all know that there was a foreclosure crisis back with 2008. And that's because, you know, when it came down to paying your mortgage or your taxes, people made the decision, you know, pay my mortgage instead of my taxes. So what had happened is whenever you stop paying your taxes, the county can foreclose on you, right? So the county forecloses on you for your taxes. Here in St. Johns County, someone can buy, or here in Florida in general, but here in St. Johns County, we are a tax deed state. So if you were to foreclose on your property, someone can buy the debt that you owe to the county. So you stop paying taxes, 2 years goes by, you're foreclosed on, someone pays that tax bill debt on your behalf, right? They're going to expect a certain amount of interest return on that tax bill. After a couple of years, they can actually pull that to term. So they can make that tax bill into a tax deed. So the county will then sell your property at the county sale for the taxes owed. Now, comparatively to what a mortgage could be, that is pennies on the dollar. So what had happened is that all these mortgage companies were completely asked out because what happened is that people bought the tax deed for the taxes owed on the property, and they're not required to pay off the note that was once associated with that property. So all of these banks completely lost their ass on all those mortgages. So now that payment is all together. So principal, interest, taxes, insurance are all now one payment, just so the bank is going to make sure that the taxes are paid. They're going to make sure that taxes are paid because they don't want to lose money like they did before. So really, really interesting. Tax deeds are some cool things. I'm going to start looking into them more here in St. Johns County because before COVID, St. Johns County was one of the only counties where they would sell their tax deeds in person. The only way you could go and buy one is you had to go in person. In Duval County, it's on the internet. So you have people that were buying tax deeds from all over the country being very competitive in that space because you're getting properties for pennies on the dollars, maybe not pennies, but nickels on the dollar, you know, very cheap. So yeah, so that was one of the benefits of being in St. Johns County and going to their tax deed sales. Since COVID, I imagine that's changed. I imagine it is now a online system. I'd have to double check. I haven't looked in a while. Chick-fil-A Coke's good stuff. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, listen to John. Hit that like button. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about living in St. Augustine, I'm here to address them every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I appreciate you guys being here. John, I appreciate you. You're a good man. If I can do anything to help you guys looking to buy, sell, invest here in the area, I'd love to be able to do so. Hope you gained a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of insight so that you can make an educated decision on your next purchase. Thank you so much for being here. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m., guys, I'm going to be here answering your question, market stats, relevant news stories, Q&A. So I appreciate you guys being here. Have a good night.